The yard is silent at dawn, except for the low metallic groan of steel under tension. A single boxcar sits stranded on track 14, blocking an outbound consist that should have departed hours ago. There is no mechanical failure here. The locomotives are fueled and the crews are ready. But the entire system is frozen, waiting for a single digital command that never arrives. Thousands of tons of steel are held in place by a tiny, blinking cursor on a green screen terminal. In modern logistics, a missing line of code is as catastrophic and paralyzing as a derailed engine. By the early 1980s, America's freight network was collapsing. Yards gridlocked across the country, and railcars vanished for weeks at a time. The industry was hemorrhaging billions of dollars in lost time. Yardmasters were overwhelmed. They attempted to manage a national logistics crisis using radios and stacks of paper switch lists, trying to track thousands of individual assets by hand. This gridlock resulted from a hidden architectural failure buried deep within the scheduling engines. Legacy tracking systems lacked the relational data models necessary to govern the staggering complexity of thousands of moving, interdependent railcars. To unfreeze the physical supply chain, software engineers first had to invent new ways to structure and process data. Railroads turned to massive mainframes, IBM 3090s and DEC VAX clusters. These machines became the new nervous system of the American supply chain. Engineers treated the yard as a digital twin. Every physical track was reimagined as an abstract digital queue. They modeled every physical rail switch as a single database transaction, ensuring every move was validated before it happened. The mainframe processed the movement of an entire train as a sequential batch job, moving data through the queues in the exact order the cars would move through the yard. By turning the yard into a live data structure, engineers made physical chaos deterministic and computable. These early systems were rigid. 1980s IMS databases relied on narrow fields like car ID, destination, and current track to manage millions of tons of cargo. The margin for error was non-existent. One mistyped entry could route a car into a dead-end track, requiring hours of physical reswitching to correct a digital mistake. In this high-speed environment, one data error triggered a physical race condition. A single mistake multiplied across the controllable delays thousands of miles away. These logistics databases were high-stakes environments, limited by the strict hardware constraints of the decade. This was the intersection of heavy iron and deterministic architecture. Engineers moved beyond simple tracking to active optimization. They implemented blocking algorithms that grouped cars by destination, reducing the need for repeated sorting. They built hump sequencing algorithms to compute the optimal order for pushing cars over the yard hill. The software balanced track availability, priority, and downstream schedules in real time. To move freight between different railroads, they adapted the two-phase commit protocol. The steps prepare, commit, and roll back allowed independent systems to safely exchange data and physical assets. They even began fusing historical transit records with real-time metrics. These predictive dwell calculations allowed yardmasters to foresee congestion and adjust schedules before the yard could gridlock. Distributed systems thinking created predictive logistics decades before the birth of cloud computing. The yards began to breathe again as terminals printed newly optimized switch lists. Engines revved, switch crews moved, and the tracks opened up. The results were immediate. Dwell times dropped from 72 hours down to 12, and the rate of lost cars plummeted by 90%. Today, massive intermodal shipping hubs operate at a scale once thought impossible. These modern networks still rely on the computational foundations established in the 1980s. These algorithms remain the invisible machinery of global commerce. They are only noticed when they fail. Hosts on camera. The supply chain survived because of logic. Expanding physical yards or building faster trains could never provide the efficiency the network required. Hosts on camera. Better data structures and smarter algorithms provided the solution. Logistics became a software problem, and software solved it. Hosts on camera. Thanks for joining Database History. In the quiet hum of a freight yard, you can still hear the algorithms working.